downtown campus? Can you hear us?
Yep. Hi, Brenda. Yeah, we can hear you downtown. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Kristen. And can everyone hear me here at college?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. We move to the Tempe campus. Arnie, can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And then if we could go to West, Martin, can you hear us?
Hi, I was fully better. Good.
It's very nice out here. So thank you. Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. So again, welcome to this is our 6th Senate meeting. We're coming to an end. We only have 2 more and stuff. And so I'm Brenda Hosley, for those of you who don't know me. And I'm the University Senate President and Chair of the University Academic Council. So now we need to establish if we have a quorum. So I'd like Chuck to put the question up. So according to the Centers for Disease Control, about how many people die from heart disease in the United States every year? Is it A, 315,000, B, 735,000, C, 610,000, or D, 1 million? So if you would click on your answer. Okay, I hope everyone's had the opportunity to vote. So Chuck, could you give us our results? Okay, looks like 0 for the first one.
6.
Oh, 6, sorry, I have terrible vision. Oh, good, now I can see it. 6 for A, 39 for B, and 22 for C, and 11 for D. I'm sorry?
78.
Oh, yeah, 78 total. So it looks like you got it wrong. C is the correct answer. So it's 610,000 people. So 78, I think that's enough people for a quorum. Is that correct, Chuck?
78's good, yes.
Okay, thanks. So the reason I posted that question is that February is American Heart Month. So I'd like for everybody to follow up with their physician and make sure your heart healthy, because we have lots of coronary artery disease and heart attacks that occur. And so that's why I posted that question. So when you see people wearing red during the month of February, it's not just about Valentine's Day. Okay? So just a couple of housekeeping items regarding the technology. If we lose video with the other campuses but maintain audio, the meeting will continue. If we lose audio, we'll take a 10-minute recess to see if audio can be restored. And if not restored after 10 minutes, the meeting is adjourned. Okay? So I just have to make an announcement. Mr. Salcido is ill today, so he's not going to be able to give an informational report. So he hopefully will be available in March. So what we're going to do is instead we're going to rearrange the agenda a little bit, and at the end we had the ABOR video. So we're going to show the ABOR video now so that everybody will have an opportunity to see that.
SHOW is an interprofessional student-run clinic. Interprofessional meaning we have students from different disciplines from the major state universities here in Arizona. So we have nursing students from ASU, we have audiology students from ASU, physician assistant, physical therapy, and occupational therapy from NAU, and then lastly medical students from U of A. And they all work together, they come together every weekend and provide clinical care to the homeless here in downtown Phoenix.
SHOW is also an academic program in that we mentor students from all across 3 universities, undergrad and graduate. The clinic is actually housed on the Human Service campus, which has about 1,200 individuals experiencing homeless on it per day. So we open our doors at 9 a.m. and we're open for 4 hours each Saturday. Between the clinic and all our outreach activities, we serve over 900 patients a year.
Being able to actually come down to the homeless shelter here on the Human Services campus every weekend has been probably one of the biggest learning experiences. I'm a downtown student and there are a lot of homeless people around the downtown campus, and oftentimes I hear my peers saying not so positive things, so it's empowering to be able to talk to them like, no, the perception you have of homelessness isn't exactly true. I go down most weekends just down the street to the clinic and I talk to these people and they aren't exactly what you think. They're very nice, and it's very rewarding to be able to talk to them and provide care.
The barriers to health is chronic illness, substance abuse, and mental health issues. Students over the course of their experience with SHOW really begin to understand what that means to an individual. So their capacity for understanding and then of course caring increases.
We're in the community. We are ASU, we are NAU, we are U of A, coming to the middle of downtown Phoenix to help provide care for a really in need group of people.
Inquire has been around since about 2011, and it came about because we realized here in New College that one of the best ways to ensure student success is to engage them fully on campus and to engage them fully in campus life and to get to know our faculty, not only within the classroom in terms of what our faculty teach in the classroom, but what our faculty do in terms of create knowledge and advance discovery and research outside of the classroom. And the wild idea that is Inquire is to say, what if we take students who are wanting to learn a craft, whether it be biology or psychology or history, and say, let's learn this in the context of a problem facing the West Valley, facing Phoenix, facing the world today.
Bully Blocker is essentially a tool that's envisioned to provide a utility to the parents of a child who might potentially be being bullied. There are a lot of difficulties for a parent in sort of dealing with a child's social media in terms of their privacy and whether the parent even wants to be looking at that themselves. And Bully Blocker serves to handle a lot of that for them. It can help them figure out how to resolve such issues if they do exist, and it provides them some insight into what might be going on.
The research project Bully Blocker started about 3 years ago or so, 2.5 years ago or so. And then we applied to get an award from Inquire because we thought that we really needed to explore beyond just the applied computing aspect and get to learn more about other aspects coming primarily from psychology and other areas.
Inquire has been really great in that it's one thing to have your courses and do projects in those that are really narrow in scope and really simplistic, but Inquire lets you pursue actual real-world problems and to come up with novel solutions and actually address interesting and sort of world-changing issues.
What I think is the greatest contribution Inquire has had is the ability or the opportunity to afford a student to pause and experience outside of the classroom how they can apply their knowledge to a real-world problem. In this case, Bully Blocker is now benefiting from what I can understand from this cross-disciplinary collaboration, this synergy, this fusion of psychology and computer science.
And I think it provided has been provided many students with the opportunity to just do high quality level of research that materializes sometimes in publications, in presentations, in top conferences, and results that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Superstition Review, also called SR, is an online literary magazine, but the interesting thing about this literary magazine is that it is run by undergraduate students, and so it's really interesting because even though it's an undergraduate magazine, it is publishing really fantastic authors, and so it is well known by the rest of the literary community.
We're constantly looking at the Google Analytics, and a lot of our readers are abroad. So we have a lot of readers in Greece, in Europe, but also in Asia. So people around the world are reading the magazine.
Right now, I'm still new to the student editor-in-chief position, but I'm really excited because I'm hoping this will be an opportunity for me to think of new things we can do with the magazine. Trish really highlights the students. She gives us the creative freedom to come up with different projects and to be part of that process and plan new things as we decide, oh, maybe we should try this, or have we done this yet? As a student, I'm just able to take that creative liberty and use that in a lot of my classes.
The reason I started the magazine was I wanted my students to get jobs. So I want my students to be able to sit down in a job interview and say, I ran a blog on WordPress for 4 months, and I had this many hits, and I curated this many blog posts. It's so tangible.
I think it gives me real-world application for the job market, which is great because when you're an English major, the first thing people tell you is good luck with that. And so with this course, I was able to learn how to brand myself and how to be professional online. I learned how to do social media marketing, just learning about the literary magazine, the publishing sector.
So one of my favorite parts about my job is that all I need to do is get out of the way. So I give my students a small dose of inspiration, and they give me a huge product.
ProMod is an integrated learning experience for students. Students engage in real-life, authentic projects, and in doing so, combine several courses worth of content material towards that common goal of doing a project.
The idea is that we will engage students much more quickly in real-world issues, real-world problems, so they can begin that process of applying the knowledge they acquire almost immediately.
Rio Vista is a recreation center. When Rio Vista was created, I was actually able to meet with one of the project managers and speak to him, and this past semester I reached out to him again and just decided to ask him a couple questions and see if he would be willing to provide me the information, see if he was willing to work with us on the project.
Sustainability is an important topic to business and other nonprofit organizations today, and so many organizations are looking for help of how to take their first steps to make themselves more sustainable.
We chose Rio Vista because of its architecture, and after speaking with one of the project managers who was on the project, we found out that there was a lot that he wanted to do with the building that he could not originally do with the original budget. He wanted to make it more LEED certified, and what LEED certified is, it's a level system of bronze, silver, and gold for how sustainable a building is.
Leanne and her team went out to Rio Vista, understood what the needs were there, interacted with the manager and other staff there, and really developed realistic recommendations that in fact can be implemented and really make that particular community center more functional and better serving its own customer base.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take our project proposals and we're going to actually reach out to the businesses that are looking for that assistance.
Project-based learning gives students an opportunity not to do projects that are theoretical in nature, but rather what are challenges and problems that exist today with a real organization, and can I help them in a practical way actually take action?
So I'll share a little bit more with everyone when I give my chair's report about the importance of this ABOR video and why we did what we did with it and stuff, so that you'll have some context for understanding why we showed it. But next I'd like to ask our Vice Provost, Deborah Clark, to share with us an announcement that she has and any other items that she may want to share with us.
Okay, the only thing I have is an announcement that's already been announced, so this is a re-announcement, I guess, of the appointment of Alfredo Artiles as Dean of the ASU Division of Graduate Education, which will begin July 1. He is the Ryan C. Harris Professor of Special Education in the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, and we also want to thank Andy Weber, who's done a fabulous job as in his leadership of graduate education, and will continue on in various roles, particularly as an executive director responsible for accreditation and academic program reviews. Just a few more words about Professor Artiles in case you missed the announcement that went out. He's written more than 115 journal articles, books, or book chapters, and he addresses primarily educational inequities related to the intersections of disability with sociocultural differences. Among his many books he's co-author of Inclusive Education, Examining Equity on 5 Continents, which was published by Harvard University Press. He is an ASU Southwest Borderlands Initiative professor, with affiliated appointments with the School of Social Transformation and the School of Transborder Studies, both in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and is also a co-editor of the book series Disability, Culture, and Equity. So he has numerous awards and accolades. He was named a Graduate Education Outstanding Doctoral Mentor and received the Faculty Google Award for Diversity and Inclusion in 2014. I won't go on with the long list, but we are delighted to have him on board and look forward to working with him.
Thank you. I know some departments actually got the announcement and some departments didn't.
Oh, really? Okay.
My department didn't. So that's why we wanted to make sure everyone received the information. So thanks, Deb. So does anyone have any questions for Vice Provost Clark downtown?
No questions from downtown. Thank you.
Thank you. Tempe?
Nobody at the mic.
Okay. West?
You have no questions right now.
All right. Anyone here at Paula have any questions? Okay, thanks. So moving on, I will share with you my chair's report. So the reason we developed the video for the Board of Regents is for the past 3 years now, the Board of Regents has asked the Senate leadership to share with them what is it about ASU. So every year they have a different question. So this year they wanted us to highlight excellence and quality. And so each university provides a breakfast on Friday morning for the meeting that the campus hosts. And so I actually attended NAU's and U of A. And so they each took a different tact in how they actually present their information. So one meeting pretty much highlighted faculty, another meeting highlighted students. So I actually wanted to highlight both because I wanted them to see really what is quality and academic excellence. And so there are so many ways that that can be interpreted. So we decided to do the video as our lead off, and then we also invited some others to attend. So we had students from ASU online. One in particular was from the Starbucks program because I thought they would be interested to see how we actually have excellence with our students and quality when they're 100% online. We also highlighted some student athletes as well. And, you know, typically most people don't think our student athletes are here for education. They think they're here for the next step. And so I wanted to make sure that they understood that we have high quality students. And also we had alumni and also a veteran. And so between all of those people, as well as the UAC leadership and the regents and administration, we started with a video, and then we had dialogue with each of the tables. They were able to ask the students and different people, what is quality, what is excellence at ASU? And the one thing that the students were able to share was, even though it's a large institution, they definitely felt like they were getting a quality education, and that they were able to speak with their faculty members, and if they had ideas, that they were welcome. So, you know, we did feel like the regents went away with some positive things that they could share with the community. So that's why we had the video, and so that way, if you have people that you want to share it with, it is on the Senate website, so you're free to access it and share it with others. Some other highlights of the ABOR meeting. The meeting was February 3rd through the 5th, and like I said, ASU hosted. And so some of the key points from the meeting was Regent Luann Leonard. This was her last meeting, and so she is leaving the Board of Regents. And so the governor will be appointing a new regent, so we don't know who that'll be or when he'll make the appointment, but be aware that that's coming. And so Regent Leonard was recognized for her years of service on the board because she was the first Native American appointed to serve on the Board of Regents, which is very nice. She was also a strong student advocate, and she was instrumental in getting the tribal consultant policy developed, and it was approved at this ABOR meeting. So other things that happened at the ABOR Regents meeting was the Impact Arizona Achieving 2020, accelerating our long-term strategic plan, which was from 2008 through 2020. And so they highlighted the next 4 goals that we're focusing on for 2020. So you'll be hearing a lot more about this, but it was to promote student success and learning, advance educational attainment in Arizona, expand research, and the impact on Arizona. So the 4 goals are to educate, achieve, discover, and impact. So I think that's going to be lots of words that you're going to hear for the next several years as we move forward. So also information from the university is that we in the Senate office would really encourage those who are interested in shared governance to run for open positions. We still have a few open positions, and Chris Castello will share that with you when she gives her Committee on Committees report. Also, we would encourage people in your department to run for Senate. So if you know people who are rotating off, then encourage others to actually become senators, because it's very important. So in order for us to really have a collaborative working relationship with administration, we need you. So we couldn't do it without the senators, and so we really appreciate everything that you do for shared governance here at ASU. Also, I'd like to remind you as senators to review all the material that comes before you from CAPCE. If a course or a program is in conflict with your program, we need to hear from you, and so we really want to hear that prior to things getting to the Senate floor. So we have a mechanism in place for you to do that, so that we expect by the time all the materials get to CAPCE, they've already been vetted through your college or your program. So make sure you're aware of what's happening, because you are representing your department. And last, I'd like to do our Senator Spotlight. So I'd like to congratulate our February Senator Spotlight, who's Mr. Timothy Karcher from the Leroy Eyring Center for Solid State Science. He's been with the university for 27 years and is currently in his 3rd year of his 3rd term on the Senate. So he definitely is someone who has a vested interest in our shared governance. So when asked, why did you decide to get involved with the Senate, he stated, membership on the Senate allows faculty and academic professionals to participate in the administration of ASU through shared government. And then also when asked, what would you say to your peers who might be considering accepting a nomination or nominating themselves for a position on the Senate? He stated, I recommend service on the Senate to my colleagues. They will gain insight into ASU's governance and may be able to influence the path ASU follows. And I concur with that. And I think those who have served on the Senate have seen how they've actually made a difference. So, moving on to our new business, we have first read on the following items, Senate Motion 2016-39 and 2016-40. So remember, first reads are for your information only and are not up for discussion. And if you have any questions about or would like to make changes to this item, please contact Keith Hollinger, Chair of the Student Faculty Policy Committee. And so now I would ask Keith to read those two motions.
Thank you, Brenda. The first motion, Senate Motion 2016-39, was introduced by the Student Faculty Policy Committee, and I'm the chair of that committee. Today is the date of the first reading. The title motion is limiting the number of I-courses for first-time, full-time freshman students. The Student Faculty Policy Committee has reviewed this motion and recommends Senate approval. Whereas first-time, full-time freshman students who have enrolled at ASU in the on-campus programs have already indicated a preference for face-to-face instruction. Whereas these students have the least academic experience and would benefit from additional supervision and face-to-face interaction, as well as training on how to best navigate online courses during their initial first year on campus, the University Senate recommends that the University Provost Office institute a policy that limits first-time, full-time freshman students to one I-course per semester, except in the case that a student may be required to enroll in a course that is offered only online by his or her degree-granting unit. The Senate also recommends that all colleges and schools begin including a module in their ASU 101 course that addresses the topic of how to succeed in I-courses. Should I just go ahead and read the second one? Okay. Second motion, 2016-40, introduced by the Student Faculty Policy Committee. Today is the day of the first read, February 22nd. ACD 304-11 proposed missed classes and assignments due to active duty, reserve, military, or first responders line of duty activities. The Student Faculty Policy Committee has reviewed this motion and recommends Senate approval. ACD 304-11 missed classes and assignments due to active duty, reserve, military, or first responder line of duty activities. The purpose is to provide students who are active duty or reserve military or first responders opportunities to make up graded assignments and examinations when they miss classes or exams due to situations arising from their official duties. Source is the University Senate and the University Senate Student Faculty Policy Committee. It's applicable to all instructors of students who are active duty, reserve, military, or first responders, including faculty, academic professionals, administration, classified university staff, teaching assistants, active duty, reserve, military, and/or spouse partner, first responders and/or spouse partner, spouses of active duty, reserve, military, or first responders. Students who serve as active duty or reserve military personnel or as emergency first responders, defined as police, fire, or ambulance paramedics, that require classes, graded assignments, or examinations to be missed because of required work performed in the line of duty, shall be given opportunities to make up examinations and other graded in-class work. However, absence from class or examinations due to line of duty activities does not relieve students from responsibility for any part of the coursework required during the period of the absence. Because of the potential for a dramatic increase in family-related responsibilities during the deployed spouse's absences, spouses that are legally responsible for minor dependents should be afforded the same accommodations. When there is a question as to the validity of the line of duty event, the provost of the university or designee shall determine for the purpose of this policy whether a particular event qualifies as a military or first responder line of duty activity. In each college, a specific individual, example, dean's designee, shall be responsible for facilitating adherence to this policy. In particular, students who participate in line of duty activities shall be in accordance with any academic unit or college requirements, provided makeup assignments, examinations, or other graded coursework that was missed due to a line of duty activity without penalty. If this is not possible, issue the student an incomplete and facilitate arrangements for completing the final coursework and earning a final grade. If this is not possible, refer the student to academic advising with a recommendation of military activation withdrawal if military related. The aforementioned assignment makeup sequence shall be utilized unless it can be shown that such an accommodation would constitute an unreasonable burden on the instructor. Should disagreement arise over this process or what constitutes such a burden, the instructor and the student should initially contact the dean's office or the dean's designee for handling these matters. If the line of duty activity is known in advance, the student must submit the satisfactory evidence to the instructor early in the semester or as soon as possible prior to the missed class, assignment, or examination. If the line of duty activity was not known in advance, the student is responsible for providing satisfactory evidence to the instructor as soon as possible after the missed class, assignment, or examination. Every effort should be made to utilize sequence 1 noted above. Incomplete grades should not be used unless deemed necessary by the respective faculty.
Okay, we also have a first read of the following items. Senate Motion 2016, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 2016, 38. So remember, these are first read are for your information only and not up for discussion. So if you have any questions or would like to make changes to this item, please contact Stephen Simpson, Chair of CAPC. And so, Steve, will you read the motion?
Yes, Brenda. Okay. We have 6 curricular motions to be voted on by CAPC at our regular meeting this coming Thursday at 10:45 a.m. in Interdisciplinary B, room 365. First is Senate Motion 2016-33, request from the College of Health Solutions, School for the Science of Healthcare Delivery, for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Translational Biomedical Sciences. Please note the typo there. Sorry, I missed that one. Senate Motion 2016-34, request from the Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering, School of Sustainable Engineering in the Built Environment for the disestablishment of a graduate certificate, Sustainable Technology and Management. Senate Motion 2016-35, request from the School for the Future of Innovation in Society for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate, Innovation for Impact. Senate Motion 2016-36, request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts, School of Music, for the establishment of a graduate certificate in music theory pedagogy. Senate Motion 2016-37, request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts for the establishment of a graduate degree, MA, in Creative Enterprise and Cultural Leadership. And finally, Senate Motion 2016-38, request from the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, Division of Educational Leadership and Innovation for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Advanced Analytics in Higher Education. If you have any feedback or questions on this new business, please send an email to me at semken@asu.edu, and please put CAPC in the subject line of any emails. Also note we have a number of other information items in Appendix A that CAPC will be voting on Thursday. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll now move to old business. So, Stephen, don't go away. You received the new course proposals via email on February the 9th, 2016. These new courses are now being handled as a consent agenda. So does anyone wish to remove any item from the consent agenda for discussion? Downtown?
Doesn't look like it downtown. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone here at Poly? No? Okay, Tempe?
I don't see anybody here, Brenda.
Okay. West Campus?
Nobody
raising hand, we are okay.
Okay. So hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept the new course consent agenda as provided?
Move to accept.
Okay, Keith moves to accept. Do I have a second? Okay. Carol, right?
Yes.
Okay. Carol here at Poly. So there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda for new courses. So please use your clickers to vote. Okay, Chuck, if you could tabulate the results. Is that really?
That's 1 abstain, 82 yeses, and 0 noes.
That's amazing. We always have at least one person that wants to abstain though. So the motion carries. Thank you all. Okay, so continuing, we had, let's see. This is motion 2016-29, converting the Research and Creative Activities Committee to a Senate Standing Committee. And so I just wanted to let everyone know that we did send out changes to the rationale. We wanted to make it clear that it was just about the motion and not about some other things. So we kind of tried to get a little too exuberant and added everything in there, and so we want to make sure it just really addresses the motion, because we have some things in there that will be decided later about the implementation. So is there any discussion about the motion? Well, it's not a motion yet. Any discussion? Downtown?
No discussion downtown.
Okay. Anyone here at Poly? Okay. Tempe?
No discussion here.
Okay. West?
No discussion, thank you.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve 2016-29 as it has been put forth? Okay. Melanie? Do I have a second? Heidi? Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so now break out your clickers. Time to vote. Okay, Chuck, can you tally the results? So, let's say
79 to 1 no to 4 abstain.
Okay, so it looks like the motion carries. Sorry, people, I'm blind as a bat. Just so it's like it's too far away, I can't see. Okay, so now moving on to motion 2016-30, which is ACD 304-02, missed classes due to university sanctioned activities. So do we have any discussion? Downtown?
No discussion downtown, thank you.
Okay. Any from Polly? West?
Oh, no discussion here.
Okay. Tempe?
No discussion here.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to approve 2016-30 as it has been presented? Okay, Heidi? Do I have a second? Okay, Melanie? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. So now break out your clickers again. Okay, Chuck, if you could show us the result.
I'm having difficulty.
Oh, okay. Hang on just a second. Oh, well, he's already closed it. Okay. That's a 70.
78 to 2 to 3 abstain.
Okay. Ooh, got another abstainer moving in. Good stuff, so. Okay, thank you. Looks like the motion carries. Okay, so we're continuing with old business. So we have the CAPC consent agenda before you. So does anyone wish to remove any item from the list for discussion? Downtown?
Nothing downtown, thanks.
Okay, Polly? Nothing here at Polly. Tempe? Anything at Tempe?
I think there's nobody at Tempe. Thanks, Brenda.
Okay. West?
We are good, thank you.
Okay, so I need a motion. Okay.
Christie.
Christie from Polly. Can I have a second? Okay, Heidi. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. So now if we could vote. Okay. Chuck, if you could tally the result. 73? 73 for and 3. So now we've added another abstainer. Keep adding on. So it looks like the motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we are moving through this meeting pretty quickly today. So it's time for committee reports. So I will go out to West to Oscar Jimenez Castellanos, who's going to give us an update on the Personnel Committee.
Okay, there's not much to report since last month. We'll be meeting as a committee this Friday, so hopefully there'll be new updates. However, I was approached regarding the item on eliminating the University and Tenure and Promotion Committee to provide an update on where we stand. We will be making a recommendation on that issue shortly, but it will require us to have more deliberations this month, so that will be upcoming.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Oscar downtown?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. You're at Polly? Okay. Tempe?
No questions here.
Okay. West?
We are here with Oscar, we have no questions.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to Chris Kastelka, who will give us an update on the Committee on Committees.
The academic assembly elections will take place the week of April 11th. And so you'll be receiving an email announcement where you can see the outstanding candidates that we have this year for president-elect of each campus, as well as the grievance committees. There are a couple campuses, not including the prestigious colleagues here at Poly, but a couple campuses are working on finding a couple more candidates, and hopefully that will be resolved in the next week or so. And I'd like to thank the committee for their continued efforts to complete these ballots, as well as those who have been of valuable help to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. So again, like I said earlier, if you can really encourage your colleagues, we do have a slate of candidates here for Poly, so we're doing well at Poly. Also, Tempe is now covered, but we still have a few people we need to run for West and also for downtown. We really would like to have at least 2 people run for the offices rather than just having an uncontested vote. So that way we really are giving people a choice. So if you know anyone on those campuses that you could encourage to run for president-elect for downtown as well as West, we just have 1 candidate, and then also we need another candidate to run for governance grievance at the West campus. So if you know any of your colleagues at any of those campuses, strongly encourage them. It really is exciting and fun to serve in shared governance. Okay, so we'll move on to Arnie. If you could give us an update on the Research and Creative Activities Committee.
First, let me thank the Senate for approving the motion now that we've clarified the exact specifics of the status of the committee. Also, I think you'll know that we will be moving on to implementation. And let me thank Joe Comfort for helping us with that. We have 2 issues before the committee. One of those is being handled by Greg Stone, and that is about reproducibility. We are looking to, I'm not sure, Greg, do we have anybody from bio yet, from biomedical? No. So we would like to have somebody from the biomedical area be involved in that because it's become a very high-profile issue over in biomedical. And we're anticipating that the next spate of PR, public relations issues will come up in that area, since everybody wants to be sure that the clinical trials are reproducible in that area. The other piece that is still, we're still putting together is a set of recommendations around archiving and making sure that data all over the various campuses is retained. That apparently is going to be part of a recommendation from a multi-university group that will go to NSF and to NIH. So those are the 2 things we're working on.
Thanks, Arnie. Okay, and if we could move to Teresa Folger, who is going to give us an update on the Library Liaison Committee, and this is her first report, so she can share with us some of the key things that committee has been working on this academic year.
Hi all, thanks for inviting me. Couple of things that have happened. First of all, we've enlarged our committee so that we can have a strong representation of the diversity at ASU. We wanted to make sure that all campuses and their unique needs were represented, as well as our fast-growing online world for the library decisions. So we have a strong committee now with active involvement from our new head librarian at ASU. So that's wonderful. One of the first things that we have started talking about was the library remodel that's happening. So the Hayden campus will be remodeled grandly, and looking at how to provide continuation of services during that time. We're working to send out a survey to both students and employees of ASU of all sorts to make sure that we understand their needs in that process, and also that as we're looking at the future, how to, the best of our abilities, support new library structure that is as sustainable as possible given the fast pace of change, technology and research and publishing and everything else. So that's a pretty exciting conversation. Our committee has an outstanding, and I always forget what it's called, request for consultation related to open access policy for the university. And from my understanding, that landed first in the data archiving and data management group, and they felt it was not within their jurisdiction to make decisions about that. And as we conversed about that, we feel the same way. So we are going to be working at our next committee meeting to recommend to the Senate that an ad hoc group made up of representatives from a variety of perspectives about this very important decision that affects promotion and tenure, it affects publishing, it affects data, it affects so many different things, that we have solid representation of all the people and the stakeholders. So that's really good.
Okay, thanks. Does anyone have any questions for Teresa? Downtown?
Nothing from downtown.
Okay. Polly? Tempe?
Nothing here.
West?
No, thank you.
Did you say nothing, Martin?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Martin, you're up next. If you could give us an update on the University Services and Facilities Committee.
We are in the process of evaluating and making summary of the survey that was administered at the end of last semester. There are 49 questions on the survey, and there are a number of questions that had very long comments. We had to divide all the questions in the committee, so every person got to evaluate quantitative questions as well as work through pages and pages of comments. There's over 100 pages of comments, of raw data comments. Even though we had only like up to 600 faculty or respondents on the survey, which seems to be a small, not even a half of ASU, when we look at the breakdown, it falls almost ideally representative of entire ASU by gender, ethnicity, units, and campuses. So we feel very confident that we are actually getting a representative sample. So our biggest thing is to produce a final report. We have 2 major meetings, and I have just collated the second master document today, since all the senators are around, focused on the Senate business, so it was a good time. So on Monday after the spring break, we'll have some penultimate draft of the survey document that will then go to whichever office needs it, with some recommendations as well as with all the raw data. I mean, there are interesting parts of ASU that we learned that we did not know about, that just comes through surveying facilities and services. It touches on every faculty, staff, and student wherever we are, quality of the workplace. So it is a very important work.
Thanks, Martin. Are there any questions for Martin there at West?
No.
No? Okay. Downtown?
Questions from downtown. Thank you.
Any questions from here at Paula? Okay. West campus? Oh, I just did West. Okay. Tempe. Got you all.
No questions here.
Okay. Thank you. So, Sandra, are you at downtown?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Sandra Mayol Kreiser is a senator, and she's serving on the Public Safety Advisory Board, and so they have reconvened that board, and so she has a few items she'd like to share with us. Go ahead, Sandra.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. The Public Safety Advisory Board met with Chief Michael Thompson and Commander William Orr. We discussed some of the things that the Chief of Police already had discussed in the Senate, that officers in our campus are wearing body cameras with audio and video. But some new news came out that he mentioned that 2 detectives, especially in the special units, have been hired. That's for like sexual violence. They're in the process to hire a victim's advocate for those circumstances that they have with the special unit. Also, more to the downtown campus, like a year ago, I think it was brought to the Senate that the downtown campus have some issues with the street, crossing the street with the students and the faculty. And so I'm pleased to announce that a street light will be installed in the fall of 2016, right on Taylor and First. With the building of the new law school, there's going to be more traffic, and it's going to be a special light that a lot of people can cross at one time. So that one thing that was brought to the Senate, and I think I'm excited to see that there has been some changes to that. Also, one of the main things that Chief Thompson addressed, and I know Dr. Crow also addressed at our last Senate meeting, is the importance for faculty to be aware of the red flags or students who are at risk for suicide and domestic violence. And I'm glad that this brochure was put also out for faculty to be aware of those signs and report that to counseling or resources that the students can have to help prevent any major situations. And hopefully in the future, there may be resources that faculty can have to train to look what signs to look for.
Thank you, Sandra. So do we have any questions from downtown for Sandra?
No questions downtown.
Okay. All right. Here at College. No questions? Tempe?
No questions here.
Okay. West?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. So I would encourage all the senators to receive the booklet on the sexual assault and misconduct resource guide to be sure and share that with your constituents, because I don't think everyone is aware that this booklet is out, and so it's a great resource for everyone. So thank you for that.
Question with respect to this, Brent.
Yeah.
Are we having this booklet as preventative, proactive, or are we seeing any increase of misconduct across the university?
As far as those numbers, I'm not aware of. I do think that there has been increased reporting as a result of some of the changes that we made with ACD 401 and 402 from last year, but I don't have any specific numbers as to how things have changed. But I do think that people feel more confident to report situations now that we didn't have before. And so I think this really gives people some resources. And I know when President Crow spoke in January, he talked about that, we were having suicides and things like that. So I do think that people need to be aware of what kind of resources are available for our students, and also where faculty can refer people.
So it's a proactive, pretty much.
Yes, 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 yes. So. Okay, any other questions? Okay, and we have one.
Brenda, we have a question in Tempe.
Oh, okay, all right. Please go
Sorry,
ahead.
I didn't know that I'd have a question until I had one. LaDon Hagland from Justice Studies. I'm wondering if these pamphlets, can I get a stack of them for the other faculty in my department?
Yeah, just send us, anybody that wants additional ones, just send us a request at the Senate office, and we can make sure that you can get some additional booklets.
The Senate office, okay.
Yes, and then we'll make sure that the appropriate people send them to you. So anybody else, just, send either myself or Pamela Hoyle an email, and we can get those out to you. Any other questions? Thank you. I think it would be great the more we can circulate. And then one last committee wants to report, and that is the Student Faculty Policy Committee, and that's Keith Honger wants to add.
So we're addressing quite a few issues in the Student Faculty Policy Committee right now. Among them are alternatives to dissection in classes. That issue is being addressed by a subcommittee who's working with a number of faculty across ASU to determine what the extent of dissection is and what alternatives are available and how feasible they are. There's the academic integrity policy that was passed, and now there is Daniel McCarville is working with a number of people to work on implementation of the policy. We're working on a best practices for social media, and Danielle Wallace is addressing that. The protocols to review existing courses was raised, and that's an issue that we have just begun to look into, so we really don't have anything to report on that yet. And another issue was brought to our attention by the Graduate and Professional Student Association. They brought us a list of issues that they would like our assistance on addressing. Among them are transparency of programmatic changes impacting graduate timelines, developing student handbooks for all programs, comprehensive TA, RA, GA, and MA contracts outlining duties and expectations, adequate graduate student representation on faculty councils, and they're expressing a desire to develop a graduate student bill of rights. From what I understand, we'll be making this list of requests from the Graduate and Professional Student Association available on the Senate website if you'd like to review it. If you have any comments or suggestions or questions about any of the issues that I've just listed, please contact me. We'd appreciate any feedback we can get. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Keith here at Paula? Downtown?
Nothing downtown, thank you.
Okay. Tempe?
Nothing here.
Okay. West?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Thanks everyone for your committee reports. You've been doing excellent work this year, so everybody's been super, super busy, and we really appreciate it. So now we have open forum, so anything for the good of the order. Downtown?
Nothing downtown.
Okay. Anything from Tempe?
Nothing here.
Okay. Polly? No? Okay. West?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, so now all I need is a motion to adjourn. Cyril makes the motion to adjourn. So we are adjourned.